It's sort of like the idea of going to the moon. That's not, that's irrelevant. Getting to the moon is the hard part. So, okay, so maybe one last question, yeah.
Elon, John Lopez from Orlando here. I've got two things for you real quick. The first one is with rideshare being a growing thing, especially with Tesla owners, are we going to get a guest mode option available for that? The second thing is as an X-Plaid owner, I would really love to get track mode.
As a what, sorry?
X-Plaid.
Well, Plaid has track mode.
The Model X Plaid does not, though.
Oh, Model X. Yeah, we can probably add that, sure. Yeah, no problem. So, rideshare is a bunch of these things will really not be relevant in a self-driving world. You can summon the car and take you somewhere, and if you want to add someone to that ride, you can if you want to. But overwhelmingly, it is about achieving self-driving, full self-driving. And you know, I think we're really getting to the final stages of full self-driving where, I mean, I drove for several days around Austin, just dropping pins in random locations, and had 0 safety interventions. So it's really, and even in the city of San Francisco, which is very complex, I haven't had a safety intervention in a long time. So I think it's getting to the point where, you know, admittedly, I have been optimistic about this in the past, but I think this time. All right, I won't say it. All right, fair enough. All right. Okay, I think it'll happen, you know. So, all right. You want one last question? Sure.
So first, congratulations on your decision to try advertising. We all want Tesla to pass Apple in market cap.
I didn't realize people wanted it that much. Okay.
It's good that a lot of people agree. So earlier this year, you cut prices on everything, 15, 20%. More recently, you've been raising prices on Model Y, Model S, Model X. And can you just talk about the pricing strategy on Model Y going forward and keep it separate from the decision to bring out the next-gen vehicles that we all agree is going to, you know, blow the doors off on volume. But just on Model Y, it's the best-selling product in the world. Can you just talk about strategy of pricing going forward on that?
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, we see what the demand is, and then we adjust pricing to meet the demand. Now, the thing is that what happens with other car makers is that they're actually constantly adjusting pricing on cars. It's just not obvious. In the case of Tesla, you can see immediately when there's a price change that occurs because we don't have any intermediaries, don't have any dealers. There's no manufacturer's suggested retail price. But the reality is actually at car dealers, the prices are changing radically. I mean, last year there were significant premiums above MSRP at sort of the conventional car dealer, you know, like, so you'd pay above MSRP last year. And then this year I think things are below MSRP or close to it. And then the manufacturers will then also offer incentives. So what's actually happening is are very big price shifts by other car makers. They're just not obvious. Whereas with Tesla, it's obvious. And this is necessary because demand fluctuates a lot. So something's got to be done to achieve a supply-demand clearing point for volume. So just people are reacting to something that's obvious as opposed to saying, oh, yes, every car company does this all the time. Tesla is no exception. That's the actual reality. So, all right. So.
Last question. I'll be really quick.
Okay.
So I will say I have been driving FSD. My wife drives FSD. There's a term called the wife test. My wife will only drive our kids on FSD. It's
Okay.
incredible. So,
That is a great. I mean, the sort of significant other test is a very a good test because for a while there was like friends or significant others would be like, please don't put it on. It's too scary. But then it's getting to the point where it's going to be just smooth as silk. So in fact, you'll be able to visually tell. Perhaps even now you can visually tell if the car is being driven on FSD or manually, because if it's being driven on FSD, it's smooth and precise. And if you look at if you actually closely observe cars going down the highway, the people are constantly moving in their lanes. So the cars are like doing this all the time when they're manually driven. If it's actually on FSD, it's dead center in the lane. It will actually get to the point where it is not merely, and maybe is at that point, not merely safer than a person, but actually way smoother than manual driving. I can't say enough about the profundity of full self-driving. It is just one of the biggest changes in history that will occur. It's not some feature. it's like a profound. It's really as profound as electrification. And that we already have millions of the cars on the road that will literally achieve this with a software update. I mean, that's like head exploding emoji, I think probably a lot of people in this room realize it, but most of the rest of the world doesn't. So.
Given how incredible FSD is and how much merit you're giving to potential future margins of the car, as well as how much impact on society, and given that they didn't even want you to say if it's going to happen this year, just not to jinx it.
Sure.
Would it be possible to have just for some type of public-facing, investor-facing kind of timeline, so that way you mentioned V12 is coming, and that's AI front end. Could we just see kind of a timeline on this is the version we're at? These are the things we're working on, and this is when we're, ETA. So we can kind of see that in real time instead of maybe Elon time.
No, so the thing that's been, really difficult with full self-driving is that it very often seems like it's about to happen until you realize that you're actually at a local maximum, and that you need to re-architect elements of the software to get out of the local maximum to then a higher local maximum. So it's been this sort of series of logarithmic curves. And that's why it's been like, it seemed like, if you just extrapolate this on a straight line, it gets to self-driving, except that it's not a straight line, it's a logarithmic curve, and it sort of, and you start hitting these like local maximums where you'll sort of asymptote to a certain capability and then have to re-architect things. So now I think we're finally at a high enough local maximum, or will be this year, where to the point where it is, I think, probably safer than a person, meaning the probability of injury on average will be better than a person, even if someone pays no attention to the car. It is worth saying that right now, for human supervised Tesla full self-driving, it is dramatically safer than manual driving. It's like, I think like 4 times safer, maybe more. So it is already a massive safety improvement to have human supervised FSD right now. And I think we will get to the point where we're always going to be in some amount of local maximum, but I think that we'll be in a local maximum that exceeds human level safety this year. Yeah, but I guess we'll see. So anyway, I want to thank you all for coming, and so just want to say, you know, your support is super appreciated, you know, as I say, a friend in need is a friend indeed, and supporting Tesla when the chips are down, those are the real friends, and you're them. So thank you. All right. Oh, hey. So with that, we can go to ad hoc questions from the audience. Okay, definitely the person in the Optimus outfit with the red cowboy hat. Great outfit. Sure. You know, we'll try to get through as many questions as possible. And, you know, you hit me with your toughest questions. Fine.
Okay, it is. Hey, Dad, it's your son Optimus.
Hey, kid.
I wanted to. Do you see it more likely that you guys will have an RV first or a cyber camper?
Well, we don't have any plans to build an RV quite yet, although I can certainly see how Cybertruck could be converted into an RV, and we are adding a lot of sort of attach points to Cybertruck, so others can build things. You know, somebody could have a startup, or other companies can build things that are attachments that enhance Cybertruck and turn it into a camper, essentially. Because I think it'd be really cool to have all these like third-party things available for Cybertruck.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. I mean, you could also probably just, you're that close, you could just say it or something, I don't know.
Actually, we'd like you guys to queue up behind us. So
Okay.
3
All
mics.
right, all right. Yeah, so
Go
just
ahead
yeah,
and
queue
go
up.
in line. Thank you.
And try to make the question short so we can get through a lot of questions. Maybe. Oh, you mean just like a Tesla team doing a podcast about Optimus? Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, you know, I wonder if maybe we could have sort of like an addendum after the earnings call, which is like a, you know, 30 minutes podcast on Optimus or something, like for those who are interested. Okay, I think we'll do that. So, all right.
Great.
All right.
Hey, Elon, thanks for doing this today. It's an awesome event. Thank you.
Welcome. Thanks for coming. Hope you guys are having a good time.
Yeah, having a great time.
I'm pretty confident we have the funnest shareholders meeting by a long shot.
Undoubtedly, yeah. It's amazing.
So,
So I'm really excited about a lot of things with Tesla. It's hard to pick a good question that is going to cover everything. But with the energy side of the business, I think it's hugely underrated. I mean, we've got tons of problems in California with rolling blackouts.
Sure.
How do you think you can incentivize people, you know, more for solar, battery backup, and we've got the referral program that's been beefed up as well. So, you know, what are your thoughts there? How we can get people on board?
yeah, actually, one of the challenges in California and a few other places is that in order to have the Powerwall be like an uninterruptible power supply for the house, we have to actually have a switch that disconnects you from the utility. Otherwise, you just, you know, send energy into the grid, and it doesn't do anything. That's actually been quite difficult with utilities, but I'd like to thank PG&E for recently helping us get approval for installing the backup switch for Powerwall in California so that people can have uninterrupted power in California. And we're working on that in every jurisdiction. So I'm confident that that's going to be a great long-term situation. And then, as I mentioned, Megapack is growing very, very rapidly. Yeah, so things are, I mean, things are really growing like ridiculously fast on the energy storage front. So yeah, I feel good about that situation. All right, next question.
Hello.
Great.
Hey, Elon, a lot of people have just kind of been wondering, how are you doing? So just wondering, what's up? How you doing? How you feeling? We saw you were partying in Cabo recently, so just
What,
wondering
me? Must have been someone else.
yeah, so how are you doing? Just human to human, how you doing?
Well, I have to say, it's been a bit of a roller coaster situation. Like, it's actually pretty rare for me to be at a party. So that's like the first party I've been at in a while. And actually wasn't even going to go to it. Then my brother talked me into it. So thanks, Kimball. Yeah, I have to say, like sometimes the work pain level is quite excruciating. And then on top of that, I get dumped on in the press. So it's like, it's not exactly super fun. There was a short-term distraction because I had to do like some major open heart surgery on Twitter to ensure the company's survival. But that, I think Twitter is now in a stable place, and obviously very excited to have Linda Yaccarino join. And so I think Linda's going to do a great job running Twitter. I'll provide, obviously, guidance on technology development. But as you can see, I think Twitter at this point has released more new features in the last 6 months than it has in the last 6 years. So, obviously this is not a Twitter meeting, but the larger point is that I feel at this point I don't need to devote incremental time. The amount of time that Twitter will take going forward is relatively small compared to the last 6 months. So yeah. Apart from there's like some macroeconomic things that we can't do anything about. Overall, I feel very good about the health of the companies, and I'm increasingly optimistic about the future. Thanks for asking. It's kind of you to ask. So.
Have you guys considered stretching out the financing terms on your auto business? You talked about earlier, consumers don't necessarily look at the sticker price they're paying. All they're concerned about is monthly payment.
Right.
And one of the fundamental advantages of an EV is that it's substantially more durable. And so would you guys ever consider stretching terms out to 10 years, especially in this rate environment, given the shape of the yield curve? Extending the terms out that farther, you'd actually be capturing a lower cost of funds.
Yeah, the important thing to appreciate is that that the vast majority of the financing is from banks. So it's kind of whatever the banks are prepared to do. This year, I guess we'll do on the order of $100 billion of sales. And we don't have $100 billion in cash to finance that. So the vast majority of it has got to come from banks. So it's really the bank's choice of what they're willing to do. And it has been tricky with banks recently because, as I mentioned earlier, if you're a bank and you're not sure whether you're going to be alive or not, it's a pretty big distraction, and increasing your auto loan portfolio is very much a secondary priority. So it's just important to appreciate it's not up to Tesla, it's up to the banks. And there's not some easy solution where you can say have a so-called a captive financing arm, et cetera, because you have to securitize those loans, and the market for securitizing them is weak. There is no. I wish there was an easy path, but there isn't. I think it's just important to remember that the economy moves in cycles, and we've had a very long period of upcycle. The next 12 months will be, I think, difficult for everyone. And I think, when Berkshire Hathaway had their annual meeting, Warren and Charlie actually said, hey, this year, the Berkshire companies are going to make less money. They're very well-run organizations, and I think that's just generally true for the economy. So, you know, it's also important to remember that, you know, there are good times and there are dark times, but then